Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast. I don't have a gambling problem. I have a solution. It's gambling. That's Kai. I'm double or nothing. Welcome back to the podcast. Kai, how the hell are you doing?
I'm doing good. We do know someone with a gambling problem, though, that plays fantasy football.
Multiple people, and they're all bad at fantasy
Our
football.
entire league, actually.
Yeah, that's what happens when you mix degeneracy with sports cards mixed with actual fantasy football. It's so funny because, and I've said this a few times, the more like you're invested in sports cards, the less I think your opinion on actual sports matters. But then I look at our fantasy football league and realize we have a collective IQ of 14. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that just was pretty evident when we started trade. Oh, you didn't trade, but some of us were trading in like the 15th round.
So for context, our fantasy football dynasty league happened a couple weeks ago. And I think it's 19 rounds or 22 rounds. It's some kind of like
that, like 20. I think it was 24, maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
so. So like obviously the first like 3, 4, 5 rounds, you're super excited, you're making deals happen, whatever else. These motherfuckers are like in the 17th round making deals. And I'm like,
Right.
you
To
you
be fair,
truly-
Dave, I think you traded up to like the 10th round or so, and then you gave up.
I believe I traded to like the 10th or like 12th round, but like anything beyond like your like third QB or like 8th running back, I'm like, you need some help. So
We'll see how it shakes out this year, Dave. We'll have to do weekly updates.
We should do weekly. No, that should absolutely be a segment in the podcast. I mean, obviously it's the end of May, so like there's not much to talk about other than like, oh boy, rookie mini camp. I'm so excited.
Yeah, if one of our players just blows out their knee in the next 3 months.
That would be tragic if like an actual player got hurt in mini camp, which could absolutely happen, or even preseason. I mean, like
it just started today, I think, for most teams.
Did it actually?
Yeah. Mini camp, so I think it's just voluntary, but most people are there.
I mean, like we really are 2 months away from, I mean, I guess you're at preseason at that point, but
Yeah.
Football's right around the corner. Baseball, you're in the dog days of like, you know, we just have Memorial Day. So like I would call that now the dog days of summer, basically. The Rockies are the literal worst team ever.
We got Orlando Arcia today or yesterday.
Oh man, I can't. Franchise savior, gonna win
Previous
30
All-Star.
He did win an all. He was an All-Star. That is true. We're in an interesting spot. The Yankees are actually doing quite well. Max Fried has been incredible.
Fried.
He's the Cy Young front runner right now, and
Just wait till he starts getting blisters, Dave.
I mean, listen, like no one reasonably expected the Yankees to be. I think they have like the second or third best record in the AL right now.
Dude, you guys were in the World Series last year.
Yes, but they also lost Soto. They lost Garrett Cole. Like they really did lose a lot of quality players.
Dude, but you guys like basically replaced Soto in the aggregate with like double the WAR.
You joke about that, but like Paul Goldschmidt's been incredible. Bellinger's
Yeah, no, I wasn't joking. I was being serious.
Okay. So the Yankees have the second best record in the AL. Detroit has the best record in the
I was
AL.
surprised when I saw that.
They have the best record in baseball, actually. They are 35-20 at time of recording.
Where are the Dodgers at?
Dodgers are the second or third best at 33-21. They're tied with the Cubs. The Phillies have the second best record. They're basically the same record as the Yankees at 33-20.
Yeah. I just think it's funny, like we go into a year like this and we're all like, oh my god, the Dodgers are gonna lose like 10 games all year, and then they're obviously really good, but it's like, you know, injuries, they're pretty injury prone, like pitching staff, and they're a good team, but they're not like just absolutely beating the brakes off everyone.
Well, it's so different between like football and basketball, obviously, because like basketball, obviously you can have one person kind of take over.
Yeah.
Like LeBron James was dragging those early Cavs teams to 60 wins. Even if you had fucking prime Barry Bonds, where there's a 600 on base percentage, you're not guaranteed to win 125 games because, like,
I don't know, man. Have you seen Ohtani pitching again? We might be getting there soon. One guy taking it over.
Ohtani is definitely the largest difference maker you could have theoretically for a team because, like, he's second or third best hitter in baseball right now. And if he gives you anything on the mound, it's truly just a bonus. I think he's one.
Would you take? Sorry, this is a random question, but would you take Ohtani if he was like above average closer and he hit every day, or would you take prime Barry Bonds?
Well, it's Primary Bonds. Like, there's dude, Primary
No, I
Bonds.
know. Most people know like how insane he is, but I'm just curious, like if you value how good he was over having Otani pitching also.
I think there's any other player in baseball, it's a different conversation. I think you have to lean with Otani, but like Primary Bonds, the stats don't even make sense.
It's insane.
Because obviously you can look at like the 73 home run season.
Pulled that up really quick.
What?
You pulled up his baseball reference.
Because I had it open on the second screen because we were talking about him. Like the stupidest thing about Bonds is 2004 with a 609 on base. Like it doesn't really get better than that. I mean, obviously
40 years old.
WAR.
Dude, he's 42 putting up like 4 WAR.
Barry Bonds with the best play discipline ever in the history of baseball with roids is just breaking the universe.
Dude, he had almost an 1100 OPS at 42 years old.
How about the 1381 in 2002?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just crazy. Well, do we know exactly the kind of, I wasn't really watching baseball, obviously, at this time. I was pretty young, but like, when did he start doing the roids? Like the late 90s?
I mean, not for nothing. Even if you ignore everything from the Giants, Barry Bonds as a Pirate, which is like generally considered when he was clean, is basically like a Mike Trout type.
I mean, he had like essentially 3 Hall of Fame careers almost.
You could say, I mean, obviously this is like too short of a time, but like, you could say 1.5 to 2.5 Hall of Fame careers.
What's his total WAR at?
162. It's the highest.
That's ridiculous.
Like, Barry Bonds at 27 was a 40-40 type candidate, like literally 40-40. Who
is that first all time for WAR?
Yeah, it's first. So like anything in the yellow right here is the most all time.
Okay, that's what I figured.
So, like, if it's any other player you're talking about, Kai, in the history of baseball, you probably do choose Otani. Now, you could have different conversations about like Willie Mays, a healthy Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth if he was able to pitch again. Like, that's obviously a hypothetical. Babe Ruth is obviously the first one, but it's 100+ years ago. I think Barry Bonds is the one where it's like I'd rather have Bonds because the stats alone break conventional baseball to the 10th degree. And you could pick any reasonable season of Bonds. Like, when you tell me there's a 609 on base percentage, I choose that season over 2001 where he hit 73 home runs because that just breaks that the amount of fear that is in a pitcher's heart when they walk him 120 times.
Well, I've never really like looked at his stats like this, and like, I mean, he didn't even get 3,000 hits because he was walked so much.
Yeah, Barry Bonds could have had 3,000.
I didn't even notice that he didn't have 3,000 hits.
If he doesn't get hurt in 2005, I guess he gets it.
I mean, dude, like, he's got to be the only player that has 2,000 hits and 2,000 walks.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
I can't imagine the league leaders. I'll tell you right now.
I bet he's probably the only player that has like 2,000 hits and like 1,500 walks. Almost.
Oh, 100%. So, let's see. Baseball Reference has it at...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Ricky Henderson. That makes sense. Babe Ruth. Okay. So, there's actually more people than I thought with 2,000 walks. But Barry Bonds also had, 688 intentional walks.
Yeah, but Bonds and Ricky... not even Ricky. Bonds is like the only one that really played in like when we started having more strikeouts.
Bonds... I mean, he definitely struck out a little bit, but like...
Well, I'm not saying necessarily him, but like when the era started to switch to where there started being more strikeouts, like everyone else was like, 60s, 70s, 80s.
I don't know if Jim Thome was a big strikeout guy. I mean, actually, no, he kind of was. 171 is a lot. That led the league. 185. So Thome was a big strikeout guy, but he still had 1,700 walks. Like...
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are just crazy. I've never really like looked at a compounded list of his stats.
No, Bobby Bray was really fucking good, dude. Like, as a Yankee fan who got to see him play, like, I know he doesn't have the accolades, but he could be a potential Hall of Famer down the line. He was the most consistent player, like, when I started watching baseball.
Well, it's tough too when you find someone like this that started at like 22 versus someone because they didn't really call people up that early back then.
It
At
would
least
happen every now and
my
again.
knowledge, but like I feel like most people started like 24, 25.
Yeah, I mean, we can have the conversation that we were having in the group chat. Everyone was telling me I was wrong about Jacob deGrom.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was going to say we could talk about the all quarter century thing too.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Let me pull up deGrom real
We
quick.
can do deGrom too. Yeah, that's a good topic.
So Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher of the quarter century, I would say, if you consider their entire career in this era in terms of like absolute peak career. No, but if there's one pitcher who started in 2000 to 2025 who I need for one season, it is 2018 Jacob deGrom.
I have a guy that like I didn't really watch, but I don't know. I would say a season from Pedro was probably up there.
So that's why I qualified it the way I did.
Is he
Pedro
not 2000?
So Pedro was 98 and 99.
That was good years.
Well, you know,
Well, his peak years.
That's why I qualified it the way I did.
Okay, I wasn't really alive, so I don't exactly know.
So Pedro in 2000 was the most ridiculous thing ever, which is why I said whose career has been encompassing of 2000 to 2025. Now, there's other conversations like Kershaw when he won the Triple Crown, or Verlander as well.
Felix.
But Felix was not as dominant in terms of like this kind of stats.
When you look at it?
Yeah.
I've never really looked at it, so
I'll pull up Kershaw real quick, and then Verlander, and then Felix, because I love Felix Hernandez.
Oh, you know another guy we're probably kind of forgetting about that had like an insane couple-year peak is Tim Lincecum.
Lincecum was incredible. So, I mean, the issue with 2014 for me is the starts, but this is an incredible season. Obviously, he won MVP. You know, DeGrom pitched 32 games. It's wow, he only finished 5th in MVP. This is obviously something you can debate, which is incredible, but like the point I'm trying to get to is obviously Hall of Famer here, Hall of Famer in Kershaw. I don't remember how incredible Verlander's Triple Crown stats were, but
I feel like Verlander's had the most like with like
251 innings is fucking crazy.
I think Verlander's had the like longest run of dominance. Not like dominance, but longest run of being very good out of all of them.
The thing is, too, is that people thought Verlander was kind of cooked.
The Astros pitching lab.
It kind of happened because like they not revitalized his career, but they kind of like, because he started to trend back around in 2016.
Yeah.
But he unlocked something at the very end, 34, 34, 35, 36, 37 doesn't count because he was hurt.
Jeez, that 2022 season, I don't even remember him being that good.
I don't remember him winning Cy Young in 2022.
175 in almost 30 games? I don't remember that at all.
No, that is something I actually completely...
How is that a 5 WAR season? That makes no sense.
I don't know. Felix is an interesting conversation. I would love Felix Hernandez to be a Hall of Famer.
I loved him.
It breaks my heart that he probably doesn't get there because he basically stopped pitching well at 29. He was incredible, but like that's... If I'm talking about pitchers who like all decade,
not really that great. Well, they're good. They're really good, but
anyway, the conversation I wanted to get to is I don't think DeGrom makes the Hall of Fame. I don't think he'll have the counting stats when it's all said and done. Now he's 37, and he's been pitching very well this year, but he basically lost.
Yeah, he's just
6 years.
Time. Yeah,
since 2020,
he's
pitched 60 games.
But you can't count 2025.
Well, no, you can. You
can't count 2020 because that was a shortened season.
What I'm trying to tell you is, in 5 years, from 2020 to 2025, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 6 years, 58 starts.
Yeah.
Like
10 starts a year, basically, so far.
Now, don't get me wrong. When he's pitched, incredible. That is not the conversation.
Yeah, that's insane, actually, the numbers he has put up in those games.
But I don't think at the end of the day he'll have the counting stats to be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't even have 100 wins yet. And I'm not like sitting here like he needs 300 wins and 3,000 strikeouts. I just don't think he'll pitch enough.
I mean, if he pitches from now to 41 and he has like a 3.5 to a 4 ERA every year, does he make
That's a big ass considering.
I know it's a big ass, but like just hypothetically.
Sure. I mean, that's a different conversation.
Is that like what puts him in though? Like that much more?
I think it might. His body broke down.
Yeah.
And it broke down at 33.
Well, he had what, Tommy John at some point in there, I think.
I believe he had Tommy John, yeah. I think he might have had like, I don't really
I know is that what he had Tommy John like a year, like beginning of last season, right? Or the year before or something?
It had to be 2023.
I know he missed most of last year. Yeah,
he missed a lot of most years recently.
Did he come back at the end of last season? Is that what it was?
He had to because he pitched 3 games.
Yeah, I think he got hurt at the beginning of 2023 and then came back at the end of last year.
Like, and I don't say it like negatively. Like DeGrom is incredible, but
yeah, no, it's totally fair. I mean, I think you've seen it in his cards too. I don't really follow his card market that well, but like I don't see people asking for DeGrom cards anymore, you know?
So and this is at least a more modern comp as well, is Johan Santana. Johan Santana, dude, was a Hall of Fame talent. His peak is very up there with some of the greatest of all time, especially in the modern era of baseball. He was off the ballot in 1 year.
Yeah.
And
he's like the pitching version of Grady Sizemore.
I don't even think you could say that about Santana because I don't know if Grady Sizemore really had the stats to be considered.
Also, I'm saying, well, I was talking more about DeGrom. Like he was on trajectory to be like a Hall of Famer, and he just got hurt every year after that.
I mean, Sizemore I think was done by like 24 in terms of like being like an incredible player, but that's a good one to pull up too. Sizemore is basically done being a quality player at 26, which
so
is crazy.
crazy.
He was so good.
Yeah,
now,
that's crazy.
It's hard to tell where he would have kind of aged out of, but a 5-6 more player at 22, 23, 24, 25 is quite good.
That's crazy.
But it's a shame. Someone else I didn't even think of before now, and this person did 2 Cy Youngs. He's fucking Corey Kluber. Yeah. Kluber was really good. And
he had like a weird. His peak was like when he like was older though. Yeah, he didn't get called up till late.
Like Kluber has no shot in the Hall of Fame. Not even a conversation. He will not make it. That's still a 5-year period. 2 Cy Youngs and 2 third-place finishes is wild.
The Indians have one of those pitching labs too.
I mean, CC, him,
Bauer.
Well, Bauer won a Cy Young, I guess.
Clevenger was good there for whatever reason.
Who else am I blanking on?
They have a couple like vets. Who?
Forgot about Cliff Lee.
They also had a lot of good relievers.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Karinchak went crazy one season. The closer was really good. What's the closer's name?
Clase, yeah. I will say this though. I have to give the Yankees credit too. Yankees probably are one of the best developers of relievers in baseball.
You guys do find a lot of trash and turn it into treasure.
It's really weird with relievers. Starters, we suck dick at developing. Relievers,
I feel like all your relievers that you end up developing they are like 30 years old though, and you only get a couple years out of them. Weirdly.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you agree with that.
I don't disagree. It's more of like, the Killer Bees, Betances. You had who else am I thinking?
Like Clay Holmes. How old's Clay Holmes?
Well, Clay Holmes came from the Pirates. He was trash. Now he's a starter for the Mets, which is funny. He's been good. It's like 34. You had
Aroldis for a few years.
Well, Aroldis you didn't develop. I'm thinking of guys who they actually developed, like Chad Green. Ronnie something. I'm blanking on.
You said Betances already. Well,
yeah,
Betances came from did he go to the Mets or did he come from the Mets?
He signed with the Mets
after he left you.
Ron Marinaccio. This is a perfect example of Yankees weird magic. 22-year-old, just 3 years, quality. I guess he's out of the league now, or where are you?
It's kind of odd.
He's in AAA for the Pirates, and he's been bad.
It's very strange.
But this is the perfect Yankee reliever. Just be like, all right, 3 years, thank you, peace. But
yeah.
Who else on this? This is 2022, so. Like, Montgomery was good. and then he was not.
And then he got a fat contract, and he sucks now.
Gave the fuck up. I'll say the Yankees developed Nestor, although he didn't really he was with the Yankees, left, came back. Who else? Jonathan Loaizaga they developed. Clark Schmidt and Michael King. King's kind of a weird one because they didn't keep him, obviously, because they traded him for Soto.
He's so good.
He's gonna get paid, dude. He's gonna get like $200 million.
He's a free agent this year, I think.
I think at the end of next year. But King is. He should have been an All-Star last year.
Oh my god, I didn't realize he was that good. He's really good, but they turned him into it. He wasn't a starter for you guys. He was a reliever.
I think they kind of brought him up accordingly.
He has an option. He's not gonna opt into that.
He's gonna get fucking paid.
Yeah, he's gonna opt out and get paid this offseason.
Looks like the Yankees kind of developed him towards the end, but I think it was more of sixth starter type thing. Anyway, hey, welcome to Sports Cards. We can do this for a while.
It's funny because we talk about how insane these pitchers are, but you can go on eBay and buy a Felix Hernandez disgusting card for $75.
I sold a transcendent Felix Hernandez for $100.
Outside of Verlander rookies, Kershaw rookies, these guys really just don't sell. It's kind of sad.
No, and I love Felix Hernandez. I don't know if you saw that. I can pull it back up. I have a saved search for a game worn jersey of Felix Hernandez. I want one.
Yeah.
I won't ever find one that's worth,
You'll find one.
Well, it'll be $1,000 or more, but
I don't know, man. I don't think people are searching for them as much as you would think.
I love King Felix. He's incredible. I wish he's Hall of Famer one day. It's not going to happen, but yeah, baseball's so finicky. I just don't see the ground making it. Now, if he ages exceptionally well, like Randy Johnson, he pitches so he's 45, sure. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But
you never know, I guess. We'll see.
No, you never know. What else is happening? So we can talk about the Third Coast Card Show that happened this past weekend. We were going to have Zion on. Zion's in fucking Greece. I didn't know that. He said he told me.
Did he not go to the card show?
No, I went to the card show.
For him.
He, I guess in between now, which is Tuesday, and Sunday, he said, I'm going to Greece. Or he was fucking with me. I don't really know.
I guess if you've been trying to get that put together for, 6 months now, maybe probably felt like you needed a week off or whatever.
Yeah, the thing about that show, and I had this conversation with him in person, and I was going to do it more on the podcast too, is it had a lot going against it. Memorial Day weekend, dude, is not meant for card shows. Now, I know there was Shipshawana and Collecticon, and that's real competition, and it showed. Zion did a good job of getting, and I hate this word, I'm going to just say it, getting talent to the show. Roth was there, Mojo was there, people like that were there, and that's good to get your word out. But it definitely suffered from the location it was in and the timing it was.
How many was it just compared to a Dallas, was it? I'm assuming it was less crowded.
It was very quiet.
Half as many people, a third as many people, fifth as many people.
Maybe 10%. Maybe.
Oh wow.
And I had a spot in the front of the show.
So you would. I don't want to say you would not go again, but you would not go again. Well,
what it comes down to is to travel to that show is expensive, and I made money. Don't get me wrong. But it's an hour away from the Houston airport. I brought my wife. It was fun, to have her there because we went out after the show and bullshit and whatever else. But that is a hard sell for someone to travel and via flying. I think Zion takes the show a step back, makes it a 2-day show, and makes it more of a regional thing.
Well, he had a lot of good autograph signers, right?
Yeah, he had Vince Young. He had Ricky Williams. He had some other player. I don't recall the guy's name. I wonder if it's still on his website, which I had loaded up. Let's see if I can quickly see who it was. No. And once again, like I also sponsored the show with Speedy, and like I love Zion. Zion's a great guy. But it's not currently a show that makes sense to fly for, kind of like, Fanatics Fest, Dallas, maybe Shipshewana, maybe a collective out of that's your thing, a Burbank, a Nashville, a Atlanta, whatever else. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. You can have 2-day shows in your medium-sized area and be successful. I think he swung for the fence and he hit a ground ball, which is fine. Like, that's not meant to be a negative slight. Oh, it was so bad, it was trash. No, I made fucking money and I got to hang out in an area I never would have gone to before.
Yeah,
Okay.
how was I know that was like one of the weird things we didn't really know. How was like the area itself?
The area itself is a family oriented beach type area. It's a very nice little area to be in. It was not meant for a card show. The convention center is nice. It's very well located. There's a grocery store across the street, like literally, like.
I'm surprised there was a convention center if it's not really like a metro-y area.
Well, that's the thing, is that like it's not a metro area. It's a beach town vibe. Now, there's a lot of casuals who could be in the area, but it was not really meant for a card show. Like, I should have known when I went to get coffee on Friday morning and there was no line. Like, that should have been a sign.
What kind of coffee was it is the real question.
It's like the Starbucks shit. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, how was like the show? Like, did you do well, or was it just kind of like?
I would give it a C. So, like,
Did you get anything cool?
What?
Did you get anything cool?
The coolest thing I bought, which I didn't even take home because I sent it for a rating, which was cool that was there, was a LeBron James Luke Jackson dual auto on card, which was a fine card. Like, it's neat to have that. I think moving forward, I'm prepping for Fanatics Fest in a way where, like, I'm only there Friday and Saturday. I can't make Sunday, which is whatever. But, like, I also get to sleep in my own bed, so my expenses for that show are nothing. First off, good luck to everyone flying in for that show. You're going to see how bad Newark Airport is right now. It's a fucking.
I was going to say you made it to Texas, so that must have went well.
I got into the hotel at like 4 a.m., so, like, whatever. But
dude,
we left.
I was gonna say that was a fun hour-long Uber at 3 a.m.
Sucked. That was miserable. We left, and then we had a taxi back to the gate. I don't know what happened. Some woman like had to get off the plane, so that was another half an hour delay when you're already in the plane ready to go, and they kicked her off, or she had to leave, or she had a Burger King hat and said the naughty words you shouldn't do.
Push her down the slide.
I would have done that, dude. Whatever. It's fine. It's a tough pill to swallow because I want to support the show, but I can't in the future. In terms of going, and I think it needs to take a step back for it to be successful. And you never know. Maybe in a year or two, they're able to kind of bring it back with a new location or. Not Memorial Day weekend. I think everyone kind of underestimated that as a poll and hope that there's not a random ass show that pops up out of nowhere that takes some of the spotlight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the thing about it was like we didn't really like have expectations going into it. Like you were going to it. I was just like hearing about it. Like I don't think anyone thought like it was gonna be a this crazy thing. So I mean it's kind of take it as you will with what you kind of thought about it going into it.
Well, that's you either hear good things online, it's like, damn, I should have gone, FOMO's real, or you hear, oh, it was okay, I'm happy I didn't go. It's worth the shot. I don't know where the fuck Shipshewana, Indiana is.
That's crazy how many people I see go into that show now.
I'm like 30% sure I even know where Indiana is on the map.
How far is that from you?
I don't even know if I can fly there.
I was going to say, well, I would assume you'd rather go there than the Texas show.
I guess so. So Shipshewana is apparently a 4.5-hour flight.
What?
There can't be a direct flight.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't make any sense.
Fort Wayne, what?
Indiana cannot be that far from you.
No, it's a 10-hour drive. I don't even know how to get to fucking
Well, I
Shipshawana.
think the issue is I don't think. Do they have an airport, or is it like a different
I
airport?
I wasn't sure where Indiana even was.
Honestly, I'm not
These
either.
are stupid.
I know it's like a couple states away from you. I just don't know which one it is.
It's
like to the left somewhere, right?
It's close enough to Chicago. Would I have to fucking fly to Chicago and then drive?
No, there's definitely an airport there, Dave.
Let's
But
see.
it's probably not called the Shipshawana Airport.
Flights to Shipshawana. Is that the right airport? There is no direct flight.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine there'd be a direct flight. Like,
it's just me on the plane. I would have to stop at. I would have to stop here. Yeah, or Chicago O'Hare. So yeah, that is a bitch of a place to get to. Would I rather go to Shipshawana, Indiana, or Galveston, Texas? Fuck it, I'll go back to Galveston. At least it's pretty there. I don't know, dude.
I've heard nothing but good things about Shipshawana though.
Because those people don't have anything. They're looking at fucking, I guess, corn. Maybe it's the wrong state. It doesn't matter.
Well, if it's like
Indiana,
I don't
one of those
things. If I lived like in a neighboring state, I think I would 100% go.
Yeah, if you could find it on the fucking map.
Driving through the cornfields.
I don't even know if that's the right state, by the way. I think corn is a different one.
They got corn there for sure, Dave.
Okay, what are things to do in Indiana? Hang on, I have to show this. This is perfect.
It says corn, doesn't it?
It does not say corn, but it's somehow better. The first thing it said for things to do in Indiana is fucking medieval torture.
What in the world?
That sounds about right.
Pull it up.
Okay. This is Chicago. This is not even the right place.
I feel like if you go in the wrong place in Chicago, you're getting medieval tortured. So that makes sense.
This isn't even the right state.
If you leave Rosemont, that's what happens to you. That should just be a flyer.
Things to do in Indiana. Leave. Art, history, and heritage. What? Attractions?
The Shipshawana card
outdoors.
Show. Yeah, outdoors. It's just a bridge.
Basketball, just Caitlin Clark's face.
Basketball is like the Indiana thing.
I know. Well, there's nothing else to do. This also makes it sound like I'm a Knicks fan. I fucking hate the Knicks. I want Indiana to win, by the way. Go Pacers. I'm just trolling. What are they going to do?
It's kind of off topic, but like, I was looking at the calendar today, and we're really not that far away from the National.
I have my National pamphlet on my desk.
Your National what?
The pamphlet. It is 50 pages.
I know you're going to sit down and read all of those, Dave.
No, actually, like, this is all the documents here that are relevant for us, Kai. I don't want to show anything that I can't show.
Get doxed.
No, but like, here's the thing about it. All the deadlines for the national stuff, Kai, are due June 15th. So I have a little bit of time to finish this up. It is a little antiquated.
Big word.
Well, it is. Dude, I threw out about 40 pages of this pamphlet because a lot of it didn't have to do with us, because it was like, do you need like AARP? How much? No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh.
The joke is that they're old.
Okay.
No, but like this is like still 15 pages here, and our spot is not perfect, but at least it's ours. And I was on the website before looking at the national.
We're in the closet.
We're not Tom Cruise.
You'll have to post a little photo like everyone does with our spot.
That is true. How do I show? They need. I've had this conversation about.
It's actually relatively easy to find. I just don't remember where it is. It's Chicago 2025, I think.
Maybe interactive map. There it is. Yeah. So.
Oh, here we go. That's actually a relatively good. That's an improvement from before, if I remember correctly.
We are table 5.
That's actually. I have to give them props, Dave. That's really good.
So this is the first time I've actually used it other than like confirming where my spot was. I am actually impressed. I will give them
That's
that.
a really good improvement. It not only has your name, it has what kind of cards you have, it has where you are,
Yep.
and it like moves functionally. It's not a plastered PDF.
Oh, we're next to slab stocks. What?
Yay.
uh,
Who else are we by?
don't know who Pete Debus is. Slab stocks has 2 booths. Okay.
I gotta say, this is a great map. I don't know why. I really enjoy stuff like this.
Don't know who Justin Falk is. Don't know who Paper Cards is. Don't know who that is. That's just empty, I guess. Don't know that person. I really am not sure of some of these people. Oh, hey, North Shore. There you go. I know
they're
him.
right next to us.
Basically. THE. Oh, I know THE also.
Well, I was gonna say, I think we probably know these people, but we probably just don't know like whatever their store name is. We probably have seen their faces and whatnot.
That's completely reasonable, and I think that makes sense. But like we're in a good spot in terms of like
come in the show. Can we like get a little look at?
So here's the Starbucks, which I like to use as like the baseline.
I got you. I have a good idea in my head now. Okay.
So actually, I think we're technically in like like that green room or like carpeted room that there is in the national room. I think we're over there.
I mean, weirdly enough, like it might not be towards the front, but I almost think like if you have someone that's like trying to find you, it's almost better to be in that like corner.
So I'm very happy with the spot. Like obviously, like there's no bad room in here other than like I would say upstairs is probably not ideal. But like,
is the case break upstairs solely?
I
think that's like that. I don't think that's upstairs, is it?
So I don't think. Why? Wait, I'm confused.
The upstairs is like, I don't even know.
So,
do they not have the upstairs on here? Because it would be by that Starbucks logo.
So let me think about this. So the Starbucks is here, which means
the escalators to the left of the Starbucks.
So that means this is upstairs?
Well, no, isn't that also a downstairs area or no? There's definitely stuff on the, no, wait, is there stuff? Why do I feel stupid? Is there stuff down there?
I mean, there could be. There definitely is room over there. This is slightly confusing.
Well, it's not confusing. We just don't remember what it looks like in real life.
Well, it's not that because like this is the main entrance, like where the car exhibit usually is.
Whenever and then the VIP's to the left with like little rooms.
Yep. So our area, Kai, is towards like not the back per se, but kind of the back.
Yeah, no, it's definitely in the back.
At the same time, there's no bad spot here. Especially because like you have all like the actual like main.
Well, the area we're in is the new tables they added. I'm assuming
part of them, yes,
is outside of the ones upstairs, wherever those are.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't really complain. Like obviously, it's not going to be right in the front.
No,
of the show,
but like that's also like what Priority Zero gets you. Yeah. Every year, Kai, that you and I work together on this, which is going to be fucking indefinitely at this point.
Because
like, well, yeah.
Until one of us dies, I guess.
Kai, you're 24. You're going to have this for 40 years, hopefully more.
You have to put it in your will. To me.
That's fair. That's completely reasonable. This is this is financial advice, by the way. Make sure I quote that. It's interesting.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I'm confused about this.
Well, I know for a fact there is space on the ground in that area. I just don't know if they've used it before or if this is upstairs.
If it's upstairs, these are bad spots.
The only thing that points me to it being upstairs is that the table numbers start with a 2.
That's what I'm thinking. So.
But again, I don't think they would put Beckett upstairs. So that's what's also leaning me to say it's not upstairs.
new version of the map 4 layout. So we might be a week early on this.
Map 4 layout? What would be different? I mean, the layout's not going to change. That's what the show looks like.
I don't know, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
I am happy with our area. I'm happy with any area, honestly, obviously.
Yeah, you can't really complain. I mean, wait,
No.
to the right isn't the upstairs, is it? This like side, another map over here. Oh, that's the upstairs for sure. No,
That's got to be the upstairs. But like,
I don't know how you kind of layer that,
this has to be upstairs.
right? I don't know. Oh yeah, wait. Well, elevator's right there. Oh yeah, elevator, escalator right there, right above your mouse. The purple and the blue. Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. That's how you get from the lobby up there.
Okay, so then this is all the first floor then.
Wow.
So honestly, other than like the Caseburg area, which is like whatever, I would give the spot like a C. This is a fine spot.
Well,
Not
like I
perfect.
was saying, it's like I feel like obviously if you put traffic like random people, maybe it's not perfect, but like if you have a deal lined up with someone, you're like, hey, I need to find you. Like, it's probably one of the easiest spots to be like, hey, go to the back corner. Like, that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
You're not in the jumbled mess of the middle.
that's true. I mean, last year, no, I'm sorry, 2 years ago, when Chicago was, I was like here, which I thought was gonna be dog shit, and it was really good.
Yeah, 2 years in Chicago, we had a table and we got, remember, that was the year.
With Andy, yeah, it was over here.
No, I had a table with John and we had that like really cruddy table. You remember?
Oh yeah, you
We,
got
like,
fucked on
we
that.
got fucked. We like couldn't move.
So, how do I explain this properly? So,
I
this
mean,
was
there's nothing to really explain. Like, it just was a really shitty table.
you were literally in. You were here. You were in a spot that did not exist.
Yeah, it
You
was
were
like in the corner
between tables.
Correct. They had to have like popped up like a booth of tables that weren't supposed to be there, basically.
Correct. You were by Beckett with no actual table, and you paid a good amount for it.
From the legend himself.
What I wonder what the sports card therapist is up to these days. Probably counting how he scammed you guys on that.
I mean, the funny part is that was my like most successful national ever was with that dinky table. So it's like it's kind of funny in a way.
Well, that just goes to show you, like you just need a spot.
Correct. Yeah.
And
You just got to get in the door.
And we have. Listen, sold too early is the reason why we have the booth, which is I can say that. Like we thankfully are able to be a presence, good, bad, or otherwise. And like this is one of those things that happens when you good, bad, or otherwise are authentic. I think that we have very clearly grown something as a result, and it has allowed us the opportunity to do what we're doing. Now we're not in the fucking front next to Mr.
One
Jeff
day.
Wilson over here, but we have a spot. We exist.
I mean, we are like next to him, basically.
I know. I don't understand what the fuck he needs an entire booth like this
for the app, probably.
I think he was over here though.
Is he? I mean, one could be for cards, maybe, and one's for the app. I'm not sure.
Sotheby's. What the fuck is Pather?
I don't think I want to know. But one thing I will say is, like, if you've never been to a national and you're looking at this map, it looks like pretty straightforward on this map. But when you walk into the Chicago show, especially with them expanding like this, it's so like just overwhelmingly crazy.
Oh, it's incredible. I will say this: show's here for 3 more years, and that it's not. It's moving to either Atlanta or Detroit.
Ugh.
I am going to vote for Detroit.
I am not gonna go. Oh.
What it comes down to is the fact that I hate Atlanta so much that I'd literally rather go to Detroit.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like Atlanta's.
Would you rather be shot or stabbed?
It's a little safer, Dave.
Would you rather be mugged or shot? You're gonna have a bad day either way.
Do they say? I'm assuming there's like one big convention center in either of them, so it really wouldn't be that hard to figure out.
Talk while I look.
The Chicago one's got to be somewhere in the central area where like the sports stadiums are and stuff, I would assume. And the Atlanta one's got to be the really nice Centennial one or whatever it's called in downtown.
I don't have the paper. It's whatever.
It doesn't matter. But
it doesn't matter.
That's a really just such an interesting decision on their part. I'm assuming it comes down to like
money.
I don't know what it comes down to.
Money.
Sure.
Money.
Maybe.
Money.
I mean, I can't imagine either of those were the cheapest options.
I mean, it's the cheapest option in terms of like what they give the national, proprietary, parent company money or tax credits or rebates or whatever.
I mean, I would almost think like Orlando would be cheaper than both of those.
Maybe Orlando was not in the picture for that year. Like,
that's fair.
These have to be booked so far in advance that like I get it.
God, dude, this would suck so bad if they did it in Chicago for like a decade straight. Or sorry, Detroit for like a decade straight. Or Atlanta or whatever.
Atlanta would be brutal.
I don't know much about Detroit, so I can't really speak on it. I just know like if it was in downtown Atlanta, like you think getting a hotel now is bad for the National, like you're not going to get a hotel. If you are, it's going to be thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's just interesting to like be like a fly listening to these conversations about how they came to these top like final decisions. I
mean, listen, not to go too far off the path, but Fanatics Fest is fucking expensive too.
Yeah.
The good thing about it for me is I live in New Jersey and I can sleep in my own bed.
Can you imagine if they did the National there? How expensive it would be?
You want to talk about pricing out the average consumer? Like Miami show was like meant to be a premier show. You would have no one attend the show other than people with like $10,000 plus to spend, which is awesome. Not for the average person, not even the above average person.
I mean, dude, a
week in New York sold out. I don't believe you. I don't believe it.
A National and a week stay in New York City and a table would be
$5,000.
I was gonna say like $5,000-$6,000 at least.
A 3-day pass against a Javits Center is $150 for an adult. For kids, it's $65. They charge for kids. That's fucking crazy. Now, I imagine that's over the age of 14 to like 18, but let's see.
You gotta leave the kid in the car all day.
If you even have a car.
Yeah, after you guys sell the car to go to the show.
I don't believe the VIP ticket is sold out. Access to the show for exhibitors, dealers.
Didn't they like give a bunch of them away last year because they didn't sell them? Yeah, it's definitely not sold out.
Dedicated check-in entrance. That's a big issue, actually. Gift bag. The gift bag was ass from what I heard. Early lane, fast lane for photos. Early access to pre-sale. Dedicated stage lines. $100 in bonus bets for Fanatics Sportsbook. That's how they get you. That's for kids only, obviously.
Is that really on there?
It literally is on there.
That's funny.
173 with tax. Holy fuck. And I'm staying up with this, and it's expensive.
That's crazy.
I know. What do these kids qualify as? Phrasing, by the way. It doesn't say actually what the kids qualify as. I don't.
They have to be able to walk on their own.
I guess so. I'm 4. I qualify as 4. It's a long day, 10 to 7. Don't get me wrong, but like that's still like not the worst. I am very excited for Fanatics Fest. Because of that price point, I'm gonna have 2 distinct card ranges, like 1 to 5 grand plus, and then like 50 to 100. Like, I'm gonna try not to have in between unless like repackers are there. Which,
well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to, well, I guess it's different for you actually, but like, I don't know why you'd go to this show and travel to it if you weren't planning on like making like it worth it. Like bringing like, there's no reason to go sit up at this show if you don't have. I don't want to put a dollar amount, but like X amount of stuff. Like, doesn't make any sense.
I know, like I'm trying to buy aggressively right now. Like,
yeah.
Now, I mean, my jump period is supposed to be May, and it kind of was. It was just delayed a little bit due to like, Dallas being canceled for me. Like, I'm ready to start liquidating like actual investments for cards to buy accordingly.
Think you're gonna sell your house already?
I'm gonna sell my Bitcoin.
Oh.
Like I was having this conversation with Casey like literally today. Like I will sell the Bitcoin I have to have cash for the national or to buy for the national because it's important. And then if Bitcoin goes up in 5 days, fuck, whatever. If it goes down, I'm a financial guru and an investor genius.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, you could always sell
rebuy.
the Bitcoin. Yeah, you can always sell the Bitcoin, use it for the national. Once you get rid of the majority of the inventory, just go back into it. You'll make more money with the cards, I would assume, than the month or two in the Bitcoin.
The only thing you run into that's a risk is the long-term capital gains I'd have to pay on it. So
Yeah.
I have to look into if I could take a not a lien.
That's
but
true because well, have you paid any yet, or is this all going to be?
I paid my capital gains this year on Bitcoin I sold for the house.
But
now, that shit fucking sucked.
But that's not even like, are you into this for a lot or a little? What's left?
All the Bitcoin I have left, Kai, is profit.
Okay, so you're gonna have to pay a lot of taxes.
So
if you took it all,
yeah, it's not fun. That's kind of why
the thing is, like, you're gonna have to pay it eventually.
Yeah, I know, but like the thing is, which is ironic, if I sell, get cash, and then buy back in more, which is annoying.
Does that work like that? Where you
Well,
wouldn't?
What's going to happen is, Kai, it's going to be two separate transactions. If I sell my Bitcoin, I'm going to pay long-term capital gains on that, and then I would theoretically buy back into Bitcoin after, and then it'd be short-term if I sold it within a year. After a year, it'd be long-term, and I have to pay tax on it again if I ever sold it.
Yep.
That's why I think it might be worth looking into, like, taking not a lien, but like, you know, getting a loan, a short-term loan for like 3 months, paying whatever I have to for it, using that as collateral, and then just paying that back because I would still keep the Bitcoin, which I might do.
Oh, so you would say you're thinking of just leaving the Bitcoin?
Well, I'm
using the loan towards cards, or what?
That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. You're gonna have to, like, am I wrong? You're gonna have to pay the taxes on the gains at some point.
At some point in time, I will. I just don't want to sell it, so it might be worth going to a bank and be like, "Hey, I have X amount of Bitcoin, as you know, as an option."
That with Bitcoin?
Why the fuck not? It's an asset.
I don't know. I'm just curious if they.
I mean, I have to research it and figure it out, but like, it's still a tangible asset. Why not? Or I have to sell my fucking stock, which I might do, which is also a pain in the dick. I don't want to do that either.
I mean, you're basically balancing between whether or not you want to pay X% of your free Bitcoin or X% of interest on the loan.
Correct.
Which I would assume the Bitcoin's obviously going to be more money, but it's also free money. But it's also going to be more money, so it's like
correct.
That's a tough one.
You realize the issue that I'm currently in. This is a good problem to have. But I don't want to pay tax. I like stealing money, and by that, IRS, I mean I like to pay my taxes.
Yeah, I don't really know what I would do there either. I mean, to me though, I don't know, because it's not like it's a one-time thing where we're never going to have the table unless something happens, I guess. So it's not like you need to go balls to the wall. And
massive bank fraud on my part.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to go balls to the wall and like go crazy this one national, like liquidate everything just to have cash. So it's not like you need to sell it, but it's like, I don't know. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I am happy where things kind of are for cards. I mean, Speedy is starting to get volume. Like that is my long-term path in cards. Is Speedy Card Lister. Cards, you know, day trading cards is definitely a way to keep it afloat. Now it's expensive to run every month, so like shocker. But that I think is my long-term life trajectory. We might be having a different conversation in a year or two about that, because if that ends up being like not only self-sufficient but also generating money outside of like marketing expenses and like the actual operating costs, it might not matter.
Yeah, whenever you sell Speedy for $1 million, you might just leave the table, and I might have to deal with the table then. You're never gonna go to a card show again.
If I netted $1 million on Speedy, I would still do cards.
You think?
$1 million? Yeah, there'd be no reason not to.
I think
like,
I would do cards in like more of like a collecting way if I did that.
So like $1 million is not enough money to like quit my job or anything like that. So I'd still like work.
Correct. Yeah.
What I would do honestly is I'd pay off my mortgage. So that's a good amount of the money there. That's 40% of the money.
Taxes too.
Let's just say I net $1 million. So
Okay.
let's say it's after taxes, whatever else. I pay off my house. I'd have 600 grand left. I'd probably just invest 500K and then just flip cards with the extra 100.
Yep. I was thinking about it like in a way, like in your position, I guess you could almost like, since it's not dire to flip the cards, you could almost like look at it more of like a mid to long term way. Like you could be buying like rails that pop up at auction and stuff like that.
I like flipping cards though.
I know it's tough, but I don't know. Lately I've been like nostalgic with like cool stuff that pops up and I want it so bad, but I'm like, I'm making a public comp. Like I'm not going to be able to.
I hate public comps.
Yeah. It's like, it's tough though when it's on like auction or something and you want it really bad. It's like, I don't want to pass on it just because there's going to be a sale there. Like it's so cool, you know?
I know. Well, you could also be like Lane where he sets public comps and still makes money.
Yeah. Where he triples his money in like 2 weeks after.
And he's like, cards are easy. Like, you're right. Like, I
forgot I had this in my closet under the rocket launcher.
Lane has like multiple. Lane is one of my favorite people just in general, and he has more in cards than my house is worth on like his coffee table, and I get pissed at him.
Wow, we didn't dox him. He's gonna get robbed now.
It's okay. No one will ever find him in fucking Shipshawana, Indiana. And that's bringing the podcast all back to the same thing. Indiana doesn't exist, and neither does Shipshawana.
Did you know, this is a funny one, my buddy lives in Wyoming. Do you think this is random? Do you think there's lakes in Wyoming? Large bodies.
Yeah, isn't Yellowstone right there?
Do you think there's places you can like take a boat and go in the water in Wyoming?
Yeah,
you're not gonna Google it, Dave.
Yeah, Yellowstone's right there.
You're Googling it.
No, I knew that before I Googled it. Now I'm checking.
Because when he told me he was going on a boat for the day, I didn't believe him.
First off, I knew I wasn't crazy because I said it, but yeah, Yellowstone's literally in the state.
Isn't that like geysers though?
There's lakes there too. Very geographical episode today. Yeah, Yellowstone's right there. Now, like, I'm not telling you there's major lakes, but there is at least some here at the park.
Yeah, I wasn't aware there were like places that go on a boat there.
Now, you might just look at it and be like, there's fucking nothing here. But even in the picture, there's a river.
Okay, you can't take a boat in that, Dave.
I think you can take a boat in that. I don't know if it's like
Christopher Columbus rowing a kayak through there.
That doesn't look like a very small lake.
Discovering Sacagawea in the
There's
Wyoming.
Another one right here. There's another picture right here.
This looks fake.
It's big Wyoming trying to take us down. What the fuck is this?
You know what's crazy? He told me he lives there. He said like a week ago, he woke up and it was snowing a week ago.
That's so funny. In Wyoming, there's snow. Yeah, there's a national forest. Welcome to geography, by the way. This is how you invest in sports cards. You find Wyoming, and then I don't know what step 2 is, but
he does Pokemon cards, and he was telling me even there they get scalped at the stores.
That's so fucking funny. What a world, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, from sea to shining sea, you listen to the Sold Too Early podcast.
Wow,
what did we talk about today?
I don't even know.
Baseball and states. We're good at this.
Yeah.
All right, anything else you want to touch on, Kai?
I don't think so.
All right, this was an episode. It's one of them. And
it's
next
gonna be
week,
on the page.
It'll exist. And next week we'll talk about something else stupid. I can't wait to find out what it is.